DC High Volume, Batman. The Dark Knight's definitive DC Comics stories. Adapted directly for audio for the very first time.
Fear. I have to make them afraid.
He's got a motorcycle. Get after him or I'll have you shot.
You mean blow up the building?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road to fight monsters. That road has led them to fighting demons, angels, and saving the world.
It's a journey that is taking them to heaven, hell, and back. But they aren't done.
Join our journey as we go episode by episode, following the adventures of Sam and Dean Winchester. We break each episode down with the writers, producers, directors, crew, and actors to bring you the behind-the-scenes stories of how this legendary TV series was made. That guy right there, that's Rob Benedict. He played God and Chuck Shirley.
Hey, and that guy there, that's Richard Spade Jr. He played Gabriel, Loki, and the Trickster. And P.S., he directed a bunch of episodes too.
Now, while we are insiders, we're also outsiders because we're not experts. This is our first time watching the entire series, all 327 episodes.
Rich and I have met many of the fans at conventions around the world, and we are deepening our understanding of why you all love this series so much. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Now listen, there will be spoilers, so consider yourself warned.
And thank you for joining us on this trip we call Supernatural Then and Now. Hey everybody, I'm Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate Jr.
And we are talking about Season 7, Episode 22, There Will Be Blood.
That sounds aggressive. We're just making a podcast. Why don't we just keep it friendly, Rob, and just,
Nope.
keep the gloves on, as it were, and just talk about the podcast?
Nope, there will be blood.
Dude, I might back out then. I'm not sure this is my kind of show. You know what I mean? I'm not in for the violence.
Took you 7 seasons to realize.
Well, you're literally predicting that there'll be a bloodletting in the middle of this podcast? That's concerning to me.
Well, so stand by, everyone. It's going to be edge of your seat for this podcast. All right. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate everybody that supports the podcast directly by subscribing on Patreon or on Apple Podcasts.
Now, that's not to say we don't appreciate people who don't support us, but we do wonder why. What did we do to you? What have we done wrong? How about some constructive criticism rather than just blow us off? You know what I mean? We want to know.
And we don't love it when you leave. It does hurt. And if you want to come back, hey, the party's always happening.
Yeah, I want you to know, a lot of people feel like when you come and go off these Patreon sites, most people don't know. And I think most people don't. Rob knows. Rob notices every single time somebody logs off. And man, does my phone light up. He'll be like, well, Deborah's gone. I don't know what we could have done differently, Rob, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, now we're just amping it up. There's just stuff to watch, video clips, audio clips.
Yeah.
You get the podcast before anybody else. You know what I mean? And soon, coming down the pipe, I know we're going to have some merch. Like, it's good stuff. You're going to want to be a part of it. So join us, won't you?
Yeah.
Come on, Deborah. Give us a second shot.
Yeah, we might have some extra special stuff for the end of Season 7, which is happening quite soon.
I don't know if I can say this, but Season 7 is about to be over.
Well, as always, though, the last several episodes, it starts to get good. And here we are, the penultimate episode.
Yeah, that's where we are. In fact, I guess what we should do here, since it sort of follows the usual schedule of our podcast, is why don't you summarize it? Why don't we just dive in and you break it down summary style?
You know what? I will. The episode begins with a reporter named Gloria interviewing Dick Roman about his corporation's recent purchase of Sucrocore.
I got to just say right here, I just got to leap in here. James Patrick Stewart is so good, dude. Like,
great.
When he's in these episodes, and he's not all throughout Season 7,
right?
He elevates the episodes.
It's funny, like most big bads, you think they're in every episode because they're talked about in every episode, but they're not actually in every episode. You know what I mean?
No, I think we've had a kind of a run with no him.
Yeah, he's so good. He's doing a thing. The way that he smiles as if he's pretending to smile is really hilarious.
His pacing is great. I mean,
when he smiles, he does this, where he just like lifts his top lip.
Yeah, and stares at the camera. Yeah. Like, I know it's like, it's a heavy-handed bad guy, but for me, it works really well.
Great. I think it's perfect.
Me too. I think it's just outstanding. He nailed it. And by the way, a little further and it'd be campy. But he
it's perfect. I thought you were going to say Sucrecorp. It's we could have come up with a better name. It really says what it is right there in the title. Like get fat.
Bad Guy Inc.
Yeah, exactly. So Dick promises that his company will keep Americans living longer and tasting better. Gloria asks if he means the food will taste better, and he smiles and accepts the remark.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm new to the show, but I feel like that he's a man of good intent.
Surely he didn't mean he was going to be eating people.
No, Rob, come on. Now he has crazy talk.
Throughout the interview, a montage of complacent humans are shown watching the report while mindlessly eating their junk food.
I would love to say it seemed far-fetched, but that looked like any given footage on Twitter this morning.
Right, exactly.
This episode is interesting in that it talks about high fructose corn syrup, which is a constant conversation in the Spade House because it's a poison.
Yeah.
That's literally a poison that we put in food in America. It's outlawed in European countries because it literally can't be processed by your body. It rots your gut. It's terrible for you. We've used it as a sugar replacement in the States forever as some sort of like, I think it goes back to they didn't want to get sugar from South America and wanted to find a way to keep those financial benefits in the United States. I think there's some reason why they created this fake sugar, but regardless, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny that and clever. And one thing I liked about this episode is they didn't create a fake thing. They went with a real, like, this poison is legit. Like, they went with a thing that is bad and is part of the American food system.
I'd say think twice about disliking season 7. There's a real social commentary here. I think it's...
You know what? You're not wrong, Robert. There's a lot to like about season 7, and by golly, it's changing the way I look at food.
Good. Well, the Leviathan sinister agenda is already moving forward. Later, Dick orders Susan to have a Leviathan replace Gloria and become their representative in the media while he examines the Word of God tablet.
Right.
He then goes to see Kevin Tran.
And it's another great scene by James Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
He's so funny in this scene.
Yeah.
You drive a hard bargain.
Yeah, totally.
All that stuff is great.
Totally.
And Benito, by the way, is so great as his...
Yeah, your buddy Benito. You worked with him because you mentioned Benito.
No, man, I'm just a fan of his work. He's just one of those guys who's worked forever and is always stand out good. We are, of course, talking about Benito Martinez.
Yeah.
Who plays, what's his character name? I forgot. It's
Edgar.
Okay, Edgar. Yeah, okay.
So he goes to see Kevin Tran, who he's been holding prisoner, and he tries to get him to translate the tablet. After his bribe with a letter of recommendation to Princeton doesn't work, Dick has Edgar threaten to kill Kevin's mom, whom they've also kidnapped.
And we also realized with that knife to her throat, oh my God, you're going to kill somebody who isn't Kevin's mom in the future.
Yeah. I even thought maybe they kill this woman and they get a replacement mom. I don't know.
Ooh, Rob going deep. Rob taking it a different way. Rob throwing the fandom on its ear. Oh, no. So what we're saying is Lauren Tom is a fake.
Or maybe she's the real, and this is a fake. We don't know.
Ooh.
Or maybe he's got two moms.
Look at Rod. Kevin Tran stars in My Two Moms.
It's 2025, Richard. That can happen.
The episode wasn't made in 2025, you ding dong.
But it is now.
Good point. The episode should adjust to what we think now.
So Kevin gets to work on the translation now. I don't know. Is he translating it real, or is Kevin Tran throwing in a little bit of?
I think he might be adding something different because for sure it shouldn't say Kevin Tran is hot and should be made Lord of all things.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure I saw that scribbled down.
Right. Sure. Everyone saw that. Meanwhile, the Winchesters are back at the cabin trying to figure out the meaning of the tablet. In the bathroom, Ghost Bobby reappears and tells Dean that the other two ingredients they need, besides the blood of a fallen angel, are Crowley's blood and blood from an alpha monster. So he gets a bit angry and even cracks the mirror, but insists he's okay. The brothers decide to summon Crowley.
Did you know that Rick Worthy was in this episode?
I did. As soon as they said alpha monster, I'm like, oh, it's going to be Rick.
Yeah, as soon as he said the alpha thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be Rick.
Yeah.
And I was trying to scroll back in my mind. I thought he'd been killed in that episode. And I also thought, oh, ironic, it's Guy B, again directing, and again, Rick Worthy.
There's a shot in this that they showed before they said who directed the episode. I didn't know who directed the episode. And there's a shot that's really terrific in this scene where, I don't know if it's before he cracked the mirror, but Dean's in the bathroom and it gets cold.
Yeah.
And he looks up and in the mirror, Bobby appears and he turns and our shot is still on Dean. And in the mirror, Bobby goes
Out of focus.
out of focus. I just thought it was a really cool shot.
You know what I thought was a cool shot, and it's simple, but it opened the episode. It was close on the fingers, going 3, 2, 1, and then pointing, and then rack focus to the news gal.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool, great way to get in the episode.
Yeah.
It was Guy B always delivers, and I think he delivered really well on this episode.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to be somebody good, and then like literally right after that, it was like directed by Guy B. I was like, I knew it.
Damn right it is. Hey, here's a question for you. What is your thought? And I want an honest answer. Pretend like we're not recording. All right.
Okay.
Like our private conversations we have about supernatural, which are plentiful and prolonged.
Okay.
What do you think of the whole dead Bobby thing?
I just keep thinking what's going to happen, what changes, because I know that Bobby doesn't wear white makeup for the rest of the series.
Right, but I don't love this. I kind of feel like killing Bobby. Like, remember how Ben Edlund was like that? I didn't love that. I'm with Ben on this. I don't love this whole.
Well, nobody does. That's why he's back on the show. He's just a ghost.
Not just the character. Like, I love Jim Beaver as an actor. I want Jim Beaver to be in every TV show ever, and I want him to be in all the Supernaturals. I love him as Bobby Singer. But I honestly feel like the way the show, like, you kill a character, kill the character, but to have him be a regular recurring character as the ghost of Bobby, it starts to feel like Brady Bunch alien brother. Like, it feels weird to me. I don't love it. It feels like a big reach.
I know. I'm really hoping after this season it changes.
But do you have any sort of? Am I way off your way of thinking here?
No. It's not my favorite. I mean, I like old school Bobby.
Yeah, and I think we miss that angry paternal figure.
Yeah,
in their life.
Yeah. I don't like that he's in another realm, and then he's got a weird, awkward makeup that's pretty obvious. Ruth walked in the room during the bathroom scene, and she was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, Bobby's that's Ghost Bobby." She was like, "Oh," and she was like, how does he come back?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Why is he in the pooper?
So we don't know, but I hope I keep thinking maybe Castiel like snaps his finger and he's back to life.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back at Sucro Corp, Kevin has finished translating the Word of God, and Edgar orders for his mom to be released. Dick, however, does not let Kevin go, but tells Edgar
what?
Yeah, but tells Edgar to pay an old friend of his a visit. At the cabin, Crowley agrees to give Dean and Sam his blood, but only when they've got all the other components for the Leviathan killing weapon.
Right.
His reason? He doesn't want his enemies to get their hands on his blood.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. He also mentions that obtaining blood from an angel will probably be the hardest to acquire, unaware that Castiel is alive and that he gave his blood to the brothers already. Crowley disappears, leaving behind the location of the alpha vampire, Hoople, North Dakota.
I did like
Dean saying he could have written it down.
Yeah, a piece of paper would work. Yeah.
He burned it in fire into the tables. That made me laugh out loud, actually. While on their way there, Sam and Dean stop at a gas station for some food. They begin to talk about Bobby's situation and start to notice that all the people around them seem to be stoned.
Oh my God. And they realize they're at Rob's house.
Exactly. It's Rob Benedict's on a Tuesday. They realize that they're high from the corn syrup and the foods they're eating, like Rich's on a Wednesday, just like the people who ate the turducken sandwiches back at Biggerson's. Dean starts freaking out, asking Sam what he's supposed to eat from now on, and Sam shows him bananas and water. They finally reach the Alpha Vamp's lair, and Bobby goes inside to do a little recon. He tells the brothers there's something they need to see. The bodies of a few dead vampires with burnt mouths. They also find a secret room hidden behind a wall and a young girl inside it.
The only thing I thought was weird about the vampire thing, I thought it was cool, and I immediately thought, oh, they bit into Leviathans and died. But why were they lined up on the table? As opposed to just they dropped where they just died where they fell.
Maybe he was like, line them up on the table.
I guess. It must have been on purpose, but like if it's setting the trap, maybe that was the point.
The Emily bit was weird for me. I had a hard time figuring that one out. So her name's Emily. She says she was taken by the vampire 12 years ago from a playground and has been kept pure all this time for the alpha vampire to feed on.
Right.
She explains how the vampires, except for one who is now hunting animals, in the next room, they all died. They fed on some humans who didn't even put up a fight. Sam reasons that the Leviathan-tainted corn syrup is responsible.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Emily also reveals that the vampires have another retreat and offers to take the brothers there. Now, okay, so she got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Very disturbing. And now she's living in a room that's like a pristine little girl's room, and she's dressed like a little girl.
Yeah.
It just creeped me out. Later, the sole surviving vampire returns and discovers that Emily's gone. Edgar is there, however, and demands to know where the alpha vampire is. The vampire attacks Edgar, who easily subdues him and takes on his form and memories.
We've seen that a couple times. I think that's a neat thing. They morph into the other guy. I think that's a cool bit.
Yeah. So once he knows the alpha's location, he kills the vampire.
Right.
I mean, these Leviathans, they're hard to kill. They can do everything.
They're hard to kill. Some of them are charming. I wouldn't say Edgar is so much, but
yeah, no.
And
honestly, they'd be pretty decent to be friends with if they didn't eat people.
Yeah. You read my mind. It's like, oh my God, I really want to be friends with these people.
Yeah.
If they would just stop eating my kind.
And you're talking about the bars, those little kind bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The next day, while the Winchesters are out shopping for fruits and vegetables, Dean points out that they should get some contaminated blood from the people dosed by the corn syrup to use against the vampires rather than using dead man's blood. So they take some blood with a syringe from a man on a bench, and nobody, not even the man himself, really notices.
I laughed at the cop car just playing the siren to why can't we be friends?
Yeah.
Weep, 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 weep. That was really funny. Because at first it's like, Weir! And you're like, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah. It's so weird.
That was a good bit. I got to give Guy B more props for directing. Like these zombie-esque people, it's really well done. Again, it feels like Wall-E or something. Like these sort of like, just
totally.
people kind of clocked out, but not too far. Like I'm just saying, you could go too comic with that.
Yeah.
I thought Guy did a good job of getting everybody to sort of walk the line.
The vampire minions get the upper hand on the Winchesters and bring the brothers to the alpha vampire.
That was a funny thing. They say, Vampronite, or their kryptonite bit was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
When they're like, we're out of Vampronite.
Oh yeah,
they call
right. Yeah, they use it all in that one vampire.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, dude, you got through everything with that syringe in your boot.
Yeah,
one guy, and then he's dead, and you're like, hold on, let me get every drop in this one guy, and now we're out.
Yeah,
it's like keep firing all of my bullets now.
Yeah,
I'll just throw this gun at the next one.
Oh.
So weird. Not good, Dean. Not good thinking.
But it's good to see Rick Worthy again. That's fun. He's also really great.
He's great. But can I also say, Robert, how good the Winchesters are at hitting people in the neck with needles? Like if you go through the season, they always take a swing. They never graze the temple.
No.
It never is like, oh, shoot, I hit the shoulder.
Instead, yeah.
It's like always like right in the sweet spot of the neck.
Yeah, totally.
Right in the sweet spot.
Well, Rick Worthy, as the alpha vampire, tells the brothers that he and Dick have a truce. They'll both feed on humans. The boys try to convince them otherwise, but he doesn't believe them. Soon Edgar arrives, and the boys get locked in the library. The alpha confronts Edgar about the poisoning of human blood, and Edgar admits it. And he says vampires aren't a priority. They fight. I thought this was going to be good, Alpha versus Leviathan, but it didn't last that long. Sam and Dean are able to escape and behead Edgar, temporarily stopping him. So he's not necessarily dead because the
head will reattach. Didn't we figure that out?
The Alpha, now believing the boys, begrudgingly gives them some of his blood. Sam and Dean insist also on taking a young boy that he had captive. Now, so that was another just like a boy that he kidnapped. That's now his.
Yeah, it was just to show, lest we start to like the alpha vampire, that he does have kids in his employ, held against their will.
So Sam and Dean return to their motel room and realize Bobby is gone. They are unaware that he has possessed a maid, ghost style, and made his escape. Back at Dick's office, the Leviathan summons and traps Crowley.
Now, real quickly.
Yeah. All right, Richard. Now it's time for that thing.
Wait, that's the whole thing?
That's it.
That you finished summary? All right. Well, okay.
It ends with Crowley in Dick's office.
All right. Here we go. R. Rob and Rich. Ratings. Okay. Let's see here. There was a lot I enjoyed about this episode. I want to say that. Audric did a nice job. Obviously, we've said it multiple times.
Audric's great.
James Patrick Stewart,
great.
Benito Martinez, great. Rick Worthy, I mean, always solid. And by the way, did you like the little nod to I'll see you next season?
Yes, that was awesome. That was really funny.
Like, okay. That was really funny, I thought. Andrew Dabb and Dan Laughlin wrote a great episode, and Guy B directed a great episode. I thought this is one of my favorites of the season. I thought it was one of the more consistent ones. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I don't. Did you? Am I way off? Did you?
No. I really liked this episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was consistent. One of the things that I've struggled with this season is loving the A storyline and not the B storyline, or loving, or thinking the guest stars were maybe allowed to be, because Supernatural has established such an epic caliber of guest star over the course of its, at this point, 7 seasons, that when it falls into the middle, it stands out to me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So this is back to that, matching the expectation of the previous years. I give Guy B a lot of credit for that.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot to love.
There's
an awful lot to love here. Do you know what you're going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know how people are going to react to this. I don't know what the fallout's going to be here.
Boy, nervous.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to respond, to be honest. But I am going with a Waylon Jennings. I'm giving this one a Waylon Jennings.
That is so interesting because of the one that I was going to do. Really, really interesting.
Is what?
I was going to do the Willie Nelson from the 80s.
Oh my God. I bet, there you go. I think we've clearly we're in lockstep on what this episode is.
Yeah.
It gets a Waylon and Willie, which, by the way, is a B+++. Yeah. I mean, if it's not a Stapleton, in fact, it might even be an A-. Yeah. A-. Yeah. A Waylon and Willie. I don't think we've ever locked in with a Waylon and Willie on an episode.
This is a first.
To remind people, we don't talk about this stuff in advance. So this is just, you're getting it live, fresh off the boat here. The Gills are still gasping for air as we announce this.
Gil McKinney is still gasping.
Gil is, take the pillow off Gil's face. Let him breathe. Okay, well, there you go.
There you go. So, I agree with Rich. I really, it's one of my favorites from the season in terms of being a solid supernatural episode from beginning to end.
And by the way, Guy B went with the shot of Rick Worthy's creepy ass hand as well, like which he sort of established the first time we saw him.
Yeah, creepy ass hand. That character exists in those nails.
Yeah, and Rick did such a great job. I mean, it was interesting seeing, I don't know if frailty is the right word, vulnerability, something in the alpha vampire that we saw this time.
We hadn't seen
that. Yeah, exactly. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it's the guest stars were just top notch. Some of our favorite characters from guest stars from Supernatural.
The young lady who played Emily,
he was great too.
Her turn was great. Like I totally bought it.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those where you saw it coming, but you didn't see it coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She kind of had a creepy look to begin with, but you just thought maybe she was scarred.
Yeah. You thought it was like the damage done by being held captive for 10 years.
Well, that's fun. It's always fun to be in sync. And you know what else is fun? Every time we get to talk to this next guy.
Me? Is it me?
No, not you. But he is a director.
Oh man, we got him?
Yeah, we got him.
That's awesome. Dude, this fires me up. I should read the paper before I log on. That's great. Well, I'm glad I said so many nice things about him then.
Well, coming back to the show, a returning guest for us and one of the best directors of Supernatural. And this is the 3rd episode he directed this season. His name, of course, is Guy Norman B. And here's our conversation with Guy.
Guy!
Dudes.
Hey, dude.
Well, dude, thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah.
We always love having you on. But if you had been listening to our podcast live, this whole episode has been a real suck up to Guy B.
Yeah.
You did a great job with this one, man.
Guy specifically was saying that at the beginning of the episode, there's a shot where Jim Beaver's ghost appears in the bathroom, and Dean looks up at the mirror, and it's got this frost around it, and you see Jim, and then Dean turns, and Dean's in focus, and you rack focus to Dean in the foreground. In the background, you see Jim go soft.
Right.
So the coolest shot because he's a ghost, and I was like, oh, so whoever directed this episode knows what he's doing, and sure enough, this directed by Guy Norman B. So
yeah, man,
really fantastic.
Killed it.
Mirrors and staircases. Directors are drawn to them like flies on shit. So you always want to around with mirrors. I mean, it's just like in your DNA when you direct. And I think that was a combination of frosting it up with special effects coming in with a steamer for a suit, and visual effects enhancing it or making it go away or something. I can't remember. It's been so long, but cool. Yeah, that's always fun stuff to do. Yeah. Cool.
It's great, and it adds so much to the episode too.
Hey, this is Jeffrey Dean Morgan. We are going to take a quick break. Hey, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan again. Welcome back to the podcast.
Here we are coming into the second to last episode, penultimate, as they say.
Right.
You crush it, man. It's really good. We have a list of questions for you, but one of the things this isn't even on there I want to talk to you about is you did a really good job with the guest star directing in this episode. I mean, you already had Rick Worthy, so that you got shorthand, right? He knows his guy, he knows his role. You got Crowley. All that is light lifting because they all know what they're doing. But you have
Benito,
Lacey J. Maley as Emily. You have Benito Martinez, who's a rock star, and James Patrick Stewart has been great. But you have these zombie-like people who are almost like, day player people that you really help establish what's going on in the culture. And you do it with like 4 people, meaning not a slew of them.
Right.
And it happens really effectively. I just told Rob that's a trap to go for a joke, to do something too big.
Yeah.
And you avoided that while still making it humorous, because like the cop doing the thing, and it was all
how do you direct the extras in that scene? And are they extras or are they?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that didn't have a line of dialogue was a background artist. Lacey was great. That was one of Lacey's early things she had done, one of her first credits, and that was an interesting, tricky part because she had to be the sweet, innocent virgin virgin, and then turn it on a dime at the end, and you go, "Oh my God!" And it
worked.
You have
she
to.
Turned.
I know. Thank God. I mean, I don't know how many people we read, but she clearly got it in the room on the during the audition, because that's all you have, man. Because once you pull the trigger and book that actor, you pray that what you saw in the room is going to translate, and she nailed it. A little thing like the guy they I think we called him Schlub, but they called him Stoner, I think, in the credits. Alex Defoe, really difficult part to play as an actor because his only line of dialogue was like "ouch" and like he had a few lines.
That's the guy I'm talking about. I thought he was really good.
He was great, and that's a difficult thing to do. And so to have Jensen and Jared on either side of you, doing shtick and keep that straight face and just kind of play that.
Yeah,
you want him to play stoned and schlubbed out or turduckened out or whatever corn syrup's going through his veins, but you also have to have that sense that he's not in on the joke, he's not winking at the camera. I mean, that's a fine line to walk, and he did great. Yeah, all my day players were really good. Even like Nick Hunnings, I think it was my vampire.
Which vampire was he?
I think he comes in and tries to attack Jim in the mansion before they.
Oh yeah, he's the guy who's the hunter, like he's the one eating animals.
Yeah, exactly.
He attacked Benito, you mean?
The hunter that kind of went rogue. He was great too. I mean, I was happy, but yeah, I mean, between James Patrick Stewart, Rick, of course, Benito and Jim. I mean, it was like I couldn't lose. I mean, it was up to me to f it up.
I would say though, dude, like this episode has some broad things going on. This season. Like they named a character Dick Roman so they could just put as many dick jokes as they could possibly put into a show, which to me is kind of like, it seems like low-hanging fruit for Supernatural. Like, right. But Rob and I have not necessarily been like, I don't know, Rob, you tell me, but I never thought that was that hilarious an angle. Meaning like
maybe the first time, but after that, it's like, come on.
They kind of went for some broad stuff, and I think largely what kept it entertaining and viable was James Patrick Stewart's performance, which I thought was just fantastic all season long.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, right? So he threads that needle, right? He's scary, he's funny, he's slick, he's charming, he's all the things.
Yeah, and what I've said about this show from day one, from Asylum on, is that the thing that makes it work is that it's these absurd concepts and this it's science fiction. I mean, it's supernatural, obviously. But the fact that the characters never wink at the camera, they never, it's never too cute, even though they've done the episodes, very meta episodes where they do make fun of themselves, literally. Like everybody delivers those lines with such earnest and seriousness, and there's no. I think that's what makes it what happens. So when there is a dick joke, it's everybody's in on it, but there's no at the end of it ever, and that's what makes it work and makes you go, oh no, they're not going to do this again. Yeah, they're going to do it again.
Yeah,
it is seriously low hanging fruit, but
yeah,
and also back to Rob's talk about Jim as the ghost, which is not my favorite Bobby Singer. Like I liked him alive, right? So now you have to like find what this character is, how he relates to himself and others in this space. And I thought you did a great job with that as well.
Yeah, well, Jim's just a thoroughbred, just give him the dialogue and he goes and does his thing. And always a pleasure. Just a decent human being that I could sit and have lunch with for 4 hours and never get bored for a half a second.
No, the crew's a little frustrated because they're been needing to shoot for the previous 3 hours.
Yeah, well, there is.
Yeah, I get it.
No, I mean like Art's Deli.
Yeah, man, I get it. No, he is that guy for sure.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the stoned out people, even at the gas and sip, people who don't have any lines, the woman looking in the freezer, and at the beginning of that shot when they pull in or they're at their cars, you have someone crossing the parking lot with a bag, and my first thought was like, oh, that's a real stiff extra, and I realized a second later, oh, he was doing a bit. He was acting because they all have to be stoned out. You could make or break it with some of those background actors, and they all nailed it.
Yeah, under the influence. Yeah, I mean, I look back now, and obviously that's a combination of me and I can't remember if it was John McCarthy or Kevin Parks, but the assistant directing team. And also, we pick those background artists. We hope we can pick them ahead of time. They call it picture pick, where you just get a bunch of 8x10s because they're not going to come in for an audition. I don't blame them.
Right.
So we pick faces generally, and again, it's a bit of a crapshoot. And when it works, thank God it works. Yeah, it's little things like that. Or I always say, like, one bad day player actor or an extra that's like getting too hammy behind the stars in a restaurant scene could ruin your whole episode. So you pay some keen attention to that. And having spent years as a camera operator, I was always looking for that stuff for the director, saying, "Hey, there's a background artist."
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, the AD department, the assistant director department, is kind of in charge of railing in
100%
the atmosphere.
It's against union rules for a DGA director like Guy B to direct the background.
So the first AD will give them the direction,
and it's even stricter in Canada. I think you can't even engage them at all. We used to work out this thing where Kevin and I or Johnny and I would walk up right with the background artists that we're talking about, a foot away from us, and I'd go, what would be great is the guy with the blue jacket to do this and then that, and then so we kind of get around that rules, but those rules. But what will happen in Los Angeles, I know, is if I go up as a director and I start talking to a background artist and give them a very specific direction, they'll just go at the end of the day to the assistant directors and go, "Hey, look, I should be getting my SAG scale because the director directed me," and they're right. So obviously the line producer doesn't like to get those 3 extra invoices at the end of the day from what we thought we were hiring background artists, and then so
correct,
you'll get yelled at as a guest director. You learn that early on, though, and again, at my years as a camera operator, I knew that rule already going in before I ever directed one scene, and you know that going in.
So there's a lot going on here. There's a news interview at the beginning of the episode, and I always think that that's a tricky thing to pull off. A lot of times you're so aware it's not a real CNN or whatever it's supposed to be. This looked real to me. She seemed like a real reporter. I
thought it was great.
Yeah.
And
now, is that something you shot, or was that second unit?
No, that was first unit. That actress who's interviewing him, Aaliyah O'Brien, her and I have stayed in touch just through all these years.
Oh, cool.
Via Instagram, and she was like a series regular on a show called Take Two that I came up and directed an episode with Eddie Cibrian.
Oh, cool.
Just a thoroughbred again. One of the local Vancouver stars.
Yeah.
And Olivia, who plays Dick's assistant, Olivia Chen, I think.
Yeah.
She's great too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's just you kind of, there's also, as a director, you always gravitate towards starting a shot on the monitor on the camera and then dolly and that in focus, and then you dolly off to the real scene.
Right.
So again, without any dialogue, the audience goes, "Oh, I'm watching something being photographed." It's meta. It's a scene within a scene.
Yeah, but you did that I thought was cool, and I called it out in the podcast there, is you started on the 3, 2, 1, and then rack focus.
Yeah.
That was cool, man.
Very cool.
That always works too. So there's other things that you lean on the front, like from my past that I've seen that I like. The movie Quiz Show, or I did a movie called Deep Impact where we did a lot of that. Where one of our standing sets with Tay Leone was in a CNN MSNBC studio, and so we did a lot of that kind of dollying off of the monitor that the camera operator in the studio is seeing. Yeah, it works good. I like that. I mean, it sets a tone and it shows its importance and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of this season, is that the Leviathans headed by Dick Roman are going to wipe us all out. So there's a global threat, so to see him interviewed on a CNN type of show, you're like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, you're just getting legitimacy. They're legitimizing. Yeah.
What was the mop the Hoople reference? I have a question here about Mop the Hoople.
Well, it's funny, the in the script it was Hoople North Dakota, Hoople, Montana.
Right.
And just during one of our meetings, I said, it'd be cool is, being a rock and roll fan like you guys are.
Yeah.
Music fans. I said it'd be cool if the guy that's watching, eating the powdered donut in the foreground, I kind of had this image in my head, the clerk that's manning the cash register. But if we gave him one of those gas station patches and just named him Mott, that's his name.
Mop.
And see, it's a dad joke Easter egg that we all.
I love it.
Dads it's
Dude,
Mott
that's
from
hilarious.
It's Mott from Hoople. Anyway, that's
it's so funny. As soon as it was from Hoople, I thought of the band, obviously, but I didn't. I missed that joke in there.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Yeah, I think we did like a plastic. If you look, he's eating the powdered donut, like really enjoying it.
I remember that guy
because he's baked.
Yeah,
or getting baked.
Yeah.
It's a plastic thing. It says Mott. It's very simple. It's
that's really funny.
It's that Easter egg that you strive for. All those like inside jokes and dad jokes.
Yeah,
can't help it. It's in my DNA.
Yeah, no, I love it, and yeah. Great band.
All the young dudes.
Yeah.
All the young dudes, Robbie loves dudes.
We actually covered. I mean, that itself was a cover, but we covered that song at a convention one time, Richard.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a Chad Kennedy reference as well. Now, remind me what was that? What was the Chad Kennedy?
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, Chad is at the time, and we became good friends. I haven't talked to him in years, but he was the Warner Brothers current exec that kind of covered the show.
Yeah, he was the guy who ran the show for Warner Brothers.
Sure, Chad. Yes,
and Chad, when I would get booked to come and direct episodes, my agent would call me. One of the first calls I made, after Bob and Eric and Phil and everybody say thank you, Sarah. I'd call Chad and say, hey, man, I know, because Chad basically had the ability to say yes, no on the director lineup that they wanted for the upcoming season. And I knew the Warner Brothers lot really well, so I would always try and see if he wanted to meet for lunch at the commissary. And just to thank him and just catch up. But so Chad's a really decent guy. I don't know what he's doing now, but he
was a really decent guy.
Yeah. You a good one, man. I owe him a tremendous amount. I think he was there when I started directing.
And what did they? What's the reference in the episode? What somebody says?
I can't remember.
You remember, Richard?
No, the weird thing is I absolutely remember the comment. I remember hearing the Chad Kennedy thing and me going like, but I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, the Chad Kennedy, prestigious Chad Kennedy
Chad Kennedy Award.
Yeah, that's it. That's
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg love to our and Chad in real life just loved the show. He was a fan of us and the fan of the show.
Yeah,
he was.
He'd make trips up there. He'd come up for rap parties and stuff. And
dude, man, he's just a great guy.
Come down to Comic-Con too.
One of those dudes who got the show.
Yep.
So anything he watched it in great detail. Whenever you would direct something, you'd hear from him and it would be specific. It wouldn't be like, hey, good episode. He'd be like, I really liked blah, blah, blah. Like he cared deeply for his work and the shows he represented.
Those execs, they give notes after they get the first draft of the script. And then generally because they're like a perfect third party because they belong to the show, but they're not part of the day-to-day running of it. Their notes are very good execs. And Chad's were great. So those get incorporated into the script before you start shooting. Then when you turn in a cut, when a director turns in a cut, you get notes on that. And generally his notes are great about, we sort of get, it's a hat on a hat. We get the joke from earlier. You guys could probably trim that. Oh yeah. Okay, great. So Chad's notes were always right on, specific, like you were saying, Richard, very specific and always good, valid and smart.
Well, it was nice to get that love from the network too, because people watching it now for the first time on Netflix may not realize, but like after every season, we were kind of on the bubble. We kind of didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know,
and so it was nice to get that love.
Yeah.
Rick Worthy also says something funny. Rick Worthy says, "See you next season."
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty great too.
Yeah, 100%. That was super funny.
Yeah, he's great. Rick's great. Yeah, and
as good as they get.
And you were Rick's first episode you directed, correct?
Yeah, that was the previous season, the Family Matters.
Yeah,
which I think we talked about and how great that was. No, well, a real quick story about we finished There Will Be Blood, and we all. I guess it was Benito, James Patrick Stewart, Rick, and I. The four of us were all on the same flight back to LA the next day. So we all get shuttled to the airport. We all show up at the same Alaska Airlines, the lounge waiting to get, or even just the gate waiting to get on the plane. And all four of us huddle up for obvious reasons. We're talking, goofing off, and And we get on the plane, and I think I'm sitting next to James Patrick Stewart, and Rick and Benito are behind us. And Rick comes by and laughs really, his distinct low voice laugh. And he sits down. I think the way this happened is James Patrick Stewart leaned over to me and goes, "That's the guy that plays the Alpha Vamp." And I go, "Yeah, we just talked for a half hour in the lounge. You didn't get that?" That's how good an actor Rick Worthy is. A fellow actor didn't realize that voice,
Right.
Alpha Vamp is the same sweethearted guy that is just like happy and joyful, and
Yeah.
it's
That's awesome.
It's amazing because I looked at James. I go, are you f***ing with me? That's Rick. That of course that's the Alpha Vamp. He goes,
Did you get up in his face like, listen, Stuart?
No, exactly.
I'm sick of your.
I think because between the seats, I think he looked between the seats like, how did I not realize that until now?
That's so
I think
funny.
that's how it went down. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I will say this.
That's
That's a testament to Rick Worthy's acting.
No kidding.
It also is a sober warning about James Patrick Stewart's eyesight, because the man is a giant, bald, striking-looking individual. It'd be hard not to piece that together.
He
Well,
really
it's
is.
the voice.
He's the opposite of that personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and,
he's such a
and
sweetheart,
how he
too.
carries himself. I mean, as the alpha, he's one character, and how his gait and his body moves.
Yeah.
As Rick, he's just this goofball. Let's go have a drink over at the Red Card. I mean, that's just Rick.
Right.
Also, it shows that, how divided we all are if we don't have scenes together.
That's so true.
Exactly.
Real question. It's a real question. No, quick question that we kind of already touched on. But the cop car playing "Why Can't We Be Friends"? Was that always going to be a bit? Was that added, or was that in the script?
I think it was added later because you got to clear that music, and I think we knew there was going to be some kind of like music not blasting from it, but emanating from it. Did
you know the siren was going to be playing along with the music, or because that was really clever? I love that.
I think that was a complete idea, a post-production idea, because
genius.
It might have been in the script, and then we obviously for obvious reasons you go, well, all those sound effects we can add in post because we don't want it to go over top of our dialogue. Let's get
sure.
But I don't remember whether it was scripted, and we knew we were going to do it in post, or it was a complete post-production invention. It could have been. I mean, that sounds like something that Phil and Bob might have done in post for fun. And
so funny.
Of course, I loved it too. It was great.
And we got to give props out to Andrew Dabb and
Dan Laughlin,
who wrote this episode too. They're very funny.
Yeah.
Andrew was there for part of the shooting. In fact, when I think with the shot where Mott, the clerk, is eating the donut, we put Andrew in some wardrobe and put him in the middle of the. They're all watching TV.
Oh, really?
Andrew's one of the extras in the. I had to direct him. I had to say, okay, now act stoned out. I go, what am I telling you for? You wrote the thing. So Andrew's in there. Daniel, I don't think ever came up, but Andrew was there with us for a few days for sure.
Wow. And Andrew, of course, who took the reins a few years later and ran the show for the last several years. So the manor scenes at the Alpha Vampire, I guess the mansion, they carry a kind of a gothic, almost classic horror atmosphere. Was that a stylistic choice?
Yeah, I think there's the one where they discover Lacey's character. That's
right.
The place we all shot at or scouted near UBC. It's a sort of a multi-purpose. It's owned by the University of British Columbia. It's a building. They do weddings and whatever there. We kind of made that our own that's where they find all the dead vamps on the table, laid out on the table, and discovered Lacey's character. So that's one location. The other one was a building that I don't know what they had used it for, but it was sort of abandoned, and they were gonna level it and put a new building there. That was like kind of closer out on the way to the airport. Yeah, we didn't have to do too much. The real one that we put our whole ball of wax and budget into was the big room where we meet Rick, where Rick is kind of posted up at the end of the long table. That was a set.
Okay.
Yeah, and where he throws Jensen's character, I guess it was Todd, across the table almost into the fireplace, and they kill Edgar in that room too. That was a set. That was and that's all Jerry and John Marcinuck. Those guys, they got the memo on making it look scary and fun. And but it's just a matter you find those touchstone things where you can tie those locations together, whether it's paintings or just Serge in the way he lights and the level of smoke and backlight, and it's all it's all to create an atmosphere. And those guys are as good at any. I mean, all the TV years I did TV, and they're about as good as they get as far as like reading it, understanding it, getting it, making it, executing it, and having it work 100%. But yeah, definitely going for that gothic, classic Dracula, Nosferatu vibe.
Yeah, totally. And those hands, Rick's hands, they really make that a complete picture.
Yeah, shout out to the fingernail department.
Pain in the ass,
makeup.
Man. Such a pain.
I bet.
But it paid off, and that's what we all remember about that. And him cutting himself and bleeding into the goblet.
Yeah,
that's all good stuff. Yeah,
totally.
I was always amazed how easily people in Supernatural are able to just slice into their own arm and bleed out. Like Jared's like, hold on, we need blood.
Yeah, no problem.
Dean does in this episode. He cuts his palm, and
I mean, it's just, I'm like, if I get a paper cut, I'm out for the week. Brutal.
Exactly.
Guy, it's just so awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Guy, for giving us your time and talking about the episode. I'm sure we'll have you back again.
Cool.
Yeah, but this is a great one to have you for. We needed this lift in the as we get to the end of 7, and you delivered in a big way. It was a
we didn't
get
to talk about the turducken episode and the eating the sandwich and all that, but that's all right.
But that is a scene that is referenced a lot in this episode.
Yeah, they talk about
the turducken thing is brought up. So I didn't remember. So you directed that episode too?
Yeah, where the sandwich kind of turns on Dean, and
that's hilarious because you really set up this episode, and that is also where you might be the king of background direction because you got that entire restaurant of people gorging themselves on that sandwich, man.
Yeah.
And that's also a really good scene.
Yeah, the Biggerson.
And you have the jerk waiter going like, whatever, dumb face. You're like, wow, that guy's snarky.
another day player actor that could have crushed the whole episode, and he just delivered in spades and can't.
He was great.
Can't think of enough. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but those Vancouver All-Stars, I mean,
so many.
As you guys know, that show lived and died or could have died by the quality of guest stars that were just there. And so happy. I mean, the worst kept secret in Vancouver for 15 years was that getting a guest spot on Supernatural, you're going to get a good piece of film to have for the future, and you're going to laugh your asses off. And I hope you like practical jokes because the number 1 and number 2 on the call sheet are going to haze you to no end, and that means you're in, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I remember we directed an episode, and Maddie Phillips, who is one of her first jobs, and now she's a regular on Gen V, was in the episode, and it was her first day, and it was her birthday. I recall this.
Oh, wow.
But it was also the day that the camera crew, everybody on set, wore Daisy Duke shorts. So they all decided that it was Shorty Shorts Day, and I guess they did this once a year. So Brad Creaser, I mean, it was the most unsavory. There's no amount of therapy that can scrub this in your brain.
I can't unsee
and
it.
these are grown men and women, especially the men, with just unholy high jeans where the pockets are hanging out, because they're dangling. And this poor girl didn't know what hit her, but it was really it was that kind of fun. She ended up loving it, obviously, but what a weird world to walk into day one.
Yep. Yeah. Well, what was it? Catherine Love Newton, right? Who played Castiel's daughter.
Yeah, Catherine Newton.
Her first day, she came in for a fitting, and then she was going to go back to the hotel, with her mom or whatever. And I said, look, when she's here, just have her come in and say hi to everybody real quick. We're on a Men of Letters set. So just have her come in and just say hi. So she came on and she said hi, very shy, very quiet. And I kind of took her off to the side. I said, you know what you're getting into, right? This is going to be the most fun thing you're ever. I mean, mark my words. You're going to enjoy every second of this. And of course, I think I was right. And so she knew when her first day of shooting, she was ready. Like, her head was on a swivel, like ready for fun. And then once Jensen found out she was like a scratch golfer and like
I knew it was going to be the golf thing.
Could go pro. He was like, we got to go out this weekend and play. Cliff, I think he arranged that, and so it was great. She was in day one. She was the little sister we all needed, and worked great. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you're awesome, Guy, and thank you for contributing your art to the show and to our podcast.
Cool, and it's great to see you guys. Your faces, everybody looks great.
Hey there, this is Jared Padalecki, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. But we got to pull over for a second for some messages.
Hey there, thanks for listening. Now, back to the episode.
Robbie, Guy B. There, I said it.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man.
And did a solid director and a great interview.
Yeah, 100%.
If you have us as your people interviewing you, I guess the interviewers, and you're a good interview,
exactly,
you know what you're doing. Because, we don't make it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kidding. Come on, Rob, you're great.
We're not that bad.
Nah.
We could talk about it all day, but now it's time to move on to mythology.
Mythology.
All right, Emily appears to have succumbed to Stockholm Syndrome.
Yes, she has. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response in which hostages become taller and blonder.
Oh.
Inexplicably.
Huh.
And they end up liking canned fish and tart seasoned vodka.
Like they're from Stockholm.
Oh, I didn't even draw the correlation. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Also, they drink, what's that Norse? I stumbled on my own joke. You know that lick, akavit. They drink akavit.
I know,
like
I
it's
don't
water.
know anything Norse. Okay.
All right.
Well, also, it's a psychological response in which hostages or victims of abuse develop a bond with their captors or abusers.
It's why I'm friends with you.
Yeah, right. Other way around.
That's what you'd have me believe, sir.
Instead of feeling only fear or anger, they may start to show sympathy, loyalty.
I feel bad for you, Rob.
Even defending the captor, aka.
But I'll never leave you, and
Rich.
I think you're kind of handsome.
No. One of the most famous ones.
Patty Hearst.
Yeah, Patty Hearst.
Yeah.
The term comes from a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden, where hostages were held for 6 days, and surprisingly, several hostages began siding with their captors, even after they were freed.
Well, it reminds me of what happened to my friend in 1973, my buddy Jan Erik Olsen.
You knew him?
Yeah, he was a convict on parole. He took 4 employees. If I recall, it was 3 women and 1 man.
Huh.
He took them hostage during a failed bank robbery in Kreditbanken, one of the largest banks in Stockholm. That's in Sweden, Robert.
Sure.
When the hostages were released, none of them would testify against either captor in court. Instead, they began raising money for their defense. That's insane.
So this is the same thing that just happened what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's a deeper dive into what it had actually happened. That's baffling. Well, the note here is if you're somebody who's going to be a criminal and you're going to take hostages, keep them for at least 6 days.
Yeah.
You got to be sure they turn.
That was just really funny because you're like, that reminds me in 1973. It's the same. It turns out it's the same thing. Well, Niels Bejerot, a Swedish criminologist and psychiatrist.
You don't have to tell us that Niels was a Swedish criminologist and psychiatrist. Treat us with a little respect, Rob.
Right,
we know who Niels is.
Okay, sorry. Well, he invented the term. He originally called it Rich.
Well played, sir. Normomstorg syndromet. It later became known outside of Sweden as Stockholm Syndrome.
Which is probably best.
Thank God. Otherwise, it would never, ever, ever have stuck or have been used by anyone ever other than Niels. Who, by the way, Niels, you're kind of a jerk. Who named something that?
Little mea culpa to the people of Sweden, because I know that they put words together. I mean, if you break that down, that's...
Yeah, no, they do. They do. Not like Niels.
It's just saying those 3 words.
Niels went above and beyond.
All right, now we're having fun. We might as well just move right on to...
Fun facts! Fun facts! Fun facts! Fun facts.
Get this, Rich. The title of the episode is a reference to a 2007 film called There Will Be Blood.
Didn't see that coming.
Starring a friend of the podcast, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I drink your milkshake. I don't know why he's foreign. I drink it up. I love that movie is so good, by the way. The book Sam finds that is hiding the button that unlocks Emily's room is titled How to Serve Man. It is a reference to the Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man. Also spoofed in The Simpsons.
Really?
Also spoofed in a lot of things, but yeah.
That's funny. Obviously, the Twilight Zone episode is you think it's going to mean you're serving to a man, and it's revealed that it's the man is going to be dinner.
I know.
And it's a bunch of aliens.
Not good.
It's aliens working on him, yeah. Well, the man, the Sam and Dean, the man that Sam and Dean take blood from is wearing a plucky penny whistle t-shirt.
How did I forget that?
Completely missed that.
Or not, sorry, how did I not notice that? That means Julie McNiven must be married to that man.
That's right. That's right. She is. That's it.
I figured. The writer, Andrew Dabb, who wrote this episode along with Daniel Laughlin, and Andrew Dabb becomes a showrunner many years down the road in his tenure at Supernatural. He makes a cameo appearance as a customer at the Gas and Sip, staring at a row of chips. And by the way, Guy B told us that, and so we already knew it. So it's double fact and double fun.
Double fun, double fact. The old teddy bear that Emily was carrying around belongs to prop master Chris Cooper. He's had it since he was 3 years old.
Oh, Chris Cooper, man. Trippy guy. I like that dude a lot. Really interesting feller. He didn't stay all 15 years, but he was there for my first episode I directed, and then that was his last season. Cool guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Well, a great episode. I mean, Rob, you did a great job. A lot of people didn't believe. Deborah had doubts.
Yep.
But I think we won her back.
I think we won
If
Deborah
this
back.
episode didn't win Deborah back, then we're never going to get her back. Then it's just, we got to patch things up with Hilda.
And so long, Deborah.
And adios, Nils. He'll never listen again. Nils.
I think we're good.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you at the next one. This episode of Supernatural features Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester, Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester.
Guest stars include Jim Beaver, Mark Shepard, James Patrick Stewart, Lacey J. Maley, Benito Martinez, Osric Chow, Larissa Gomes, and Aaliyah O'Brien.
There Will Be Blood was written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin, directed by Guy Norman B.
Editing by Nicole Baer. Music by Christopher Leonards.
Dolly Grip was our friend Dave Riopel.
Executive produced by Robert Singer and Sarah Gamble.
Supernatural was created by Eric Kripke.
The episode featured the following song. Hold on, sidebar. Question to Rob. Why can't we be friends?
I don't know, but it's war.
This episode originally aired on May 11th, 2012.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine, written by Stephen Hine and Hada Holscher.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
Why can't Trey be booty? Why can't Trey be booty?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuel Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans like Deborah, and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
Ah, Deborah. I mean, I'm just still trying to figure out why Deborah took off.
I don't know. It's
maybe it's our interviewing skills.
We're gonna find out why Deborah. Meanwhile, there are several listeners named Deborah who are going, "Is it me?"
I'm still here though. Syndromate. Oh, syndrome's in there too. Norma Mistor.
Syndromate.
Damn. It later became known outside of Sweden. Outside of Sweden? Who, by the way, Nils, you're kind of a jerk. Who named something that? Dude, no offense. This is just a Nils. Anybody else can pause here. Nils, you did that on purpose. This is why your first wife left you. I'm putting this another reason why to be annoyed by Rob. Took Nils' side. Okay.
Meanwhile,
moving on with our podcast. Moving on with the podcast.
The man, the Sam, and Dean.
The Sam.
The man that Sam and Dean take blood from.
No, I like the man, the Sam.
Back to life, back to reality. You know, remember that like dance song, early 90s? Steve, anybody? Back at Sucre Corp, Kevin has finished
Wait, who did the song? Whoa.
Everybody knows.
Well, not all of us were doing ecstasy at that period of our life. Did you like seeing bananas on TV?
What's the joke there?
I don't know.
Story Mill Media.
American history is full of infamous tales that continue to captivate audiences decades or even hundreds of years after they happened. On the Infamous America podcast, you'll hear the true stories of the Salem witch trials and the escape attempts from Alcatraz, of bank robbers like John Dillinger and Pretty Boy Floyd, of killers like Lizzie Borden and Charles Starkweather, of mysteries like the Black Dahlia and D.B. Cooper, and of events that inspired movies like Goodfellas, Killers of the Flower Moon, Zodiac, 8 Men Out, and many more. I'm Chris Wimmer. Join me as we crisscross the country from the Miami drug wars and Dixie Mafia in the South, to mobsters in Chicago and New York, to arsonists, kidnappers, and killers in California, to unsolved mysteries in the heartland and in remote corners of Alaska. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. Find Infamous America wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
Okay, so you want to tell him, or you want me to tell him?
No. I got this. People out there.
Yeah.
People, lean in. Get close. Listen, here's the deal.
We got big news.
We got monumental news. We got snacktacular news.
Yeah, after a brief hiatus, my good friend Michael Ian Black and I are coming back.
My good friend Tom Cavanaugh and I are coming back to do what we do best.
What we were put on this earth to do.
To pick a snack.
To eat a snack.
And to rate a snack.
Scientifically.
Emotionally.
Spiritually.
Mates is back.
Mike and Tom Eat Snacks is back.
A podcast for anyone with a mouth.
With a mouth. Available wherever you get your podcasts.